Oikocredit, which is actually based in the Netherlands, but it's an international cooperative. It's kind of similar to the Banca Etica group in terms of size and volume of investors or members. And actually, we are members, cross members. So we are, the Banca Etica group is member of Oikocredit International, and Oikocredit International member of Banca Etica. We also work together here in many networks in Spain at the Spanish level. And basically, what is Oikocredit? Oikocredit is an international cooperative, non-banking cooperative. So we don't really offer those daily services like credit cards and banking accounts and all that, but we basically offer an investment product for people who want to invest their money, their savings. For people, I mean retail investors, so people like you and I, or also for organizations, socially oriented organizations mainly. And with that money that we get from investors around the world, from actually around 58,000 investors, a little more than 58,000 investors from all over the world. With that money, we invest in projects, in social projects, but actually very geographically oriented to the global south. And we work in Latin America, in Africa, and Asia. And you can see we have more than 500 project partners that we call this type of projects that we either invest in or give credit, give loans to. We give loans either in strong currencies like dollars or euros, and also in local currencies from those countries in the global south. So for many projects, this is a great service to be able to get credits from an international, socially oriented financial institution, but in local currency. So we kind of charge with the burden of making all the arrangements for the interest for the tax exchange rates of those local currencies, which would be really annoying for those little projects to be in charge of. And we will have more than 1,000 million euros in we call it development finance, which would be the loans and investments that we're currently giving. And we have 33 focus countries, although we are present in those 55 countries, but we are trying to focus our work in these 33 countries that you see at the map there at the bottom. And we cover those countries through 13 regional and country offices in different countries. In some countries, we have a regional office if the country is big and we have a lot of projects financed. In other countries, we just have somebody from the regional office traveling there to visit those projects, to assess them in the typical ways in which a ethical finance institution assesses projects, which is economically and financially. So we really want to finance projects and give loans to projects that can give those loans back. Otherwise, we would have a problem, or we would be an NGO but not a financial institution. But we also want to make sure that those projects have a strong social and environmental impact, and therefore we assess them with the ESG criteria, so environmental, social, and governance criteria. And we do that with that network of own offices in the field, where we have local people working. So the cooperative is based in the Netherlands and has offices here and all over Europe, and also some in North America, Canada. But we don't have Dutch people in the southern countries saying how to do the things, but we have local people who are their degrees in finance, economics, whatever, that they really know the culture, the language, the activities there, and all those first-hand knowledge from the field. And we work in 3 focus sectors, which are financial inclusion. That would be basically microfinance, so micro loans, microcredit. That we do always through partnerships with local microfinance institutions from those countries where we work. We assess those microfinance institutions in terms of financial terms and also in terms of ESG. And we give them a big loan, for instance, 500,000 euros, and then they divide that big loan in 500 micro loans of 1,000 euros each. And the idea here is to reach those people who are socially and financially excluded, and mostly women, and mostly in rural areas. And then the other two sectors are sustainable agriculture and renewable energy. Here are some figures about our social impact. 81% of the microcredits that we offer through those in the microfinance institutions that we work with are given to women. And you might say, oh, why is that? First, for a very selfish reason, which is that women tend to pay back better than men. That's a fact, an empirical fact. So we really want the loans, the micro loans, to be given back, and so that we want them to pay their interests, usually small interests adapted to their payment capacity, but also because of another reason, and is that when you give a micro loan to a woman that starts a small business, that income that she gets is usually reinvested in a higher percentage into her family or her community. So, therefore, contributing more to the human development, to a more sustainable development, to an improvement in education of the kids, and so on. Therefore, the social impact. So, that's why of the 81% of women receiving micro loans, then 61% in rural areas. And in those countries that we work, you might know that there are little villages really far away from any city without proper infrastructure or services, really far away from any bank or financial institution, and therefore reaching to those people makes a strong social impact and gives them access to resources that otherwise they couldn't get. And here, just a few more figures: 579,000 people serviced by agricultural partners, 43,000 houses with access to clean renewable energy, and 38.2 million people benefited from the microfinance activities. This is almost like the whole population of Spain, just scattered all over the world. But if you think about it, with those 58,000 members that invest a little more than 1,000 million in Oikocredit, we get to help those 38 million people, which is quite cool. Actually, that's also an interesting thing. We're working with the global south. There, you can probably start a small business with as little as 200 or 300 euros microcredit, and I don't know, like just buy a sewing machine and some clothes and start making clothes that you sell at the market or things like that. So it has a strong impact with really little investments. So that's a good thing for us. And here just a few figures about our portfolio, how it's spread in regions, most of it in the Latin America and the Caribbean. This is also because of the cooperative tradition that exists in Latin America. So the cooperative movement is also strong there, and therefore we have this kind of affinity with this type of organization. We don't only finance cooperatives, but it's we favor them. So if we have the same type of project and one is a cooperative and one is not, we would prefer the cooperative one. Then 31% Asia and 19% Africa. And by sector, most of our work is in microfinance, 77%, 16% in agriculture. And here in agriculture, we also work a lot with fair trade, which we are one of the main private financiers of the fair trade sector worldwide. And renewable energy, only 5%, but it's also growing. In renewable energy, we only work in solar systems, photovoltaic solar systems, and mostly off grid, so not connected to the main grid. Because we are also working in rural areas where they don't even have the cables to give electricity to them. So it would make no sense to have something connected to somewhere, but really actually doesn't exist. And so we work with little solar systems, independent solar systems, and we also work in a very interesting project. Look, this one. It's a really cool biomass cook stove that you actually. It's a very simple thing which has like a really big impact, and it's very simple. It's kind of like this kind of pot which has a small battery underneath, and then it has a small fan. You can charge the battery with a small solar panel, so you don't really need to have access to electricity. And with that, you turn on the fan. You can put inside whatever biomass you have, like pellets, small branches, pieces of wood, I don't know, corn, whatever. And then it burns it so clean and so efficiently that you improve the efficiency of burning biomass by 80% compared to burning just like the open fire in a house. And if you picture it, a typical cabin in Africa, people burning wood there and with carbon top cooking, and all the time full of smoke, that really causes a lot of health issues. And actually, the World Health Organization estimates that around 4 million people die every year because of household air pollution. So really a big issue. It's a real pandemic, but it's talked nowhere. And with this, you make such a great combustion that you generate no smoke inside. So it's really healthy. It's really efficient. So you don't really need so much wood. You don't really need to pay so much for the fuel, or you save time if you go pick up the wood at the forest. And then you also have the possibility to charge mobile phones or to have small LED lights that can also improve access to better education, to better services through mobile phones, and so on. And here you have like the 10 countries with the highest capital expanding. So India is like a whole continent, so basically the biggest one, and then all the others, top 10 countries where we work. And yes, I forgot to mention this. 85% of our activity is loans, and 15% is equity investments. We also invest in projects that have been, for instance, they have asked for a credit, they have paid back the credit, and then they need to grow, and they might need some equity, some capital investments. So we also invest in some projects like those to help them grow. And yeah, the countries where we work, you can see some countries here in the north. That's mainly, we don't really work that much there, but it's mainly fair trade organizations. For instance, here in Catalonia, we have financed the fair trade organization, which is called Alternativa Trade, which is a small city here close to Barcelona, which imports fair trade products like coffee, chocolate, and all that. So it also has a big impact in the global south. And here are the countries where we have the country offices and regional offices. And these are the main countries where we get funds from. So most of your countries, not all of them, but most of your countries here in Europe, we have local offices, local branches, through which you can either invest and or participate in the global company. And yeah, it's like 23 support associations like the Catalan one. Here in Spain we have Catalonia, Sevilla and Bilbao, and also a volunteer group in Madrid, and also special like bigger national offices in Austria, France and Germany to promote Oikocredit and get some funding from either retail investors. You can invest with as little as 200 euros in Oikocredit, or from organizations who also want to invest their funds.